All right, I am super stoked today. This is my first ride in Washington, actually ever. Believe it or not, even though I've lived in Idaho and Oregon most of my life, but first time ever riding in Seattle. I've heard lots of good things about this area. I'm at Tiger Mountain bike park here. I don't know if it's considered a bike park or a chill complex, but whatever. Tiger Mountain. Seen so many clips, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok of this place. Been wanting to ride here for a long time, so I'm super stoked to be here finally. This is like my favorite environment to ride in. I always thought that in Oregon, when I drive out to Sandy or I drive over to Black Mountain, is the trails were just so cool. Lots of wood features. You're just kind of in the dark in the woods. Such a cool vibe. The trail I'm currently climbing is called Master Link Trail, which definitely brings back a little bit of PTSD from all of my rides basically over in Idaho. I mean, my last chain had 3 Master Links on it because that's how many times I ran into issues. So hopefully we got all that fixed now. And even though I'm climbing a trail called Master Link, we should have no problems. All right, we have hit a wee snag in our ride here. Looks like we got maybe 3 trees total that have fallen down. We're talking big boy trees, none of these little skinny high elevation trees. So I'm gonna spider monkey my way across all these and we'll continue on. All right, finally made it to the top of East Summit here. Climb was about 8.4 kilometers, 555 meters of climbing, so right around like 1,800 feet of climbing and somewhere around 5 miles. So pretty steep at times. Not a lot of downhills, but definitely some flatter breaks. So pretty brutal climb, but I've done worse. But I'm here at the summit. We got Mount Rainier, which might not show up in the camera, but it's there. It's gorgeous. It's huge, huge. And I'm gonna descend a little warm-up trail called East Summit Trail. Starting off on a blue East Summit Trail. Now this is recommended on Trail Forks as a little warm-up to the rest of the mountain. So, and starting on it. Oh yeah, it's already cool. Woo! Lovely berms here. Could I ride this faster? Absolutely I could. But we're warming up. Warming up. And also, coming from Idaho trails, this would be a black, not a blue. They're just, everywhere I've ridden in Idaho, as fun and pretty as they can be, not nearly as technical as Oregon and Washington. Big old hole right there. Pump these, keep that momentum up the hill. Was just having flashbacks with that tree, of the tree I hit in Idaho. A little air time. Just feeling in the bike here. Oh yeah. In control. Beautiful pumping, oh my gosh. This is just a lovely design trail so far. Yes. Yeah. Apologies if the camera angle's a little weird. I've been filming in a different ratio lately, and I just went back to normal. Oh, whoop. Okay, anyways, if the camera angle's off, I've just gone back to filming in 9:16 instead of 4:3 just to see what the footage is like and maybe if it looks good and saves me some effort. But it's harder to get the angle right in 9:16, so apologies if the angle is whack. If it is, I'm gonna try to watch it and fix it after this little short run here. Alrighty, off the grid, onto a black trail. Oh yeah, it's supposed to be a flow trail. We'll just see what it's like. never ridden it, so if I'm casing stuff, it's because I'm riding blind and I don't know what to expect. So we might ride this a second time if I've got the lungs in me. But other than that, we're just gonna enjoy it. This is my first time at Tiger Mountain, first mountain bike ride in the great state of Washington. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Oh my gosh, yeah. Dude, even not riding this fast, it is fun. Drop. Oh yeah, that was a little techie drop. Especially riding it blind, I was like, man, I hope there's not some big old root at the bottom. But that's where having a nice enduro bike is very nice. Very, very nice. Got the old 170 fork on this sucker. Buttery smooth Marzocchi bomber coil at the back, just soaking everything up. I'm running the coil especially. Oh yeah, that was some tech right there. Running the coil pretty stiff, like under 20% sag. So on some of this chunk, it's a little harsh, but it's to set up a, no, cassette, don't do this to me. Could be my derailleur's not happy. It is a 7-year-old derailleur that's been beat on its whole life. So, I don't know. I don't really know what's going on with my derailleur. Woo! Yeah, some of these drops, I mean, it's roll everything, but there's gonna be some big compressions. If you have an XT bike, you might be a little sad on some of these. Woo! That being said though, I hear this trail has some climbs in it, so that's also gonna be a bummer. And here's one of the climbs. Woo! Love these little small rock droppy guys. Super fun. I think it's another great trail to get warmed up on here. Woo! Nice, that part's fun. Okay, so continuing on off the grid. Apparently going left is a little more tech, less flow. Kind of in a flow state at the moment, so we're gonna enjoy it. Enjoy the flow. And hope my cassette starts, or my derailleur, or whatever's going wrong, starts cooperating. Nice. Some of these little rock drops can get you in trouble. There's like a nice corner afterwards or a root. Super fun though. Oh my gosh. This is what dreams are made of. I mean, this is why I like riding in Sandy, Oregon and Black Mountain Park in Oregon. Rolling. I thought that was gonna be a drop, but it was rollable. Oh my gosh. Relentless little mini drops. And they're just big enough that it's like, you can roll them, but you may regret rolling them. Poor Idaho Trails would rate this as a double black. Idaho just has a weird rating system, and I've always thought that, even when I wasn't as good of a rider back in college, I always was like, man, I don't know, like, black trails in Oregon are just so different. And I'm gonna say Washington's gonna be about the same as Oregon rating wise. Woo, that part's fun. Again, this is a nice trail. Like I'm riding it blind. There's really nothing, you know, there's stuff I would definitely go faster on if I wasn't riding it blind, but like everything's rollable, everything's pretty easy. Pretty good warm-up trail. Get back in the groove of the P&W riding after being away for so long. Because man, before Idaho, we were living in Colorado for two years, and now Colorado's some brutal riding, but what they don't have as much of, you know, unless you go to bike parks, they don't have as much like bike specific trails like this. A lot of the trails I rode, especially in Colorado Springs, woo, okay, this is fun. Especially in Colorado Springs, it's a lot of hiking and dirt bike trails that are an absolute blast. Colorado Springs has some really good riding, but it's just different. Boy, I can see why you'd want to train a bash guard on your chainring if you lived here. Goodness. Yeah. Woo! Not riding too fast. Ooh, talk about a nose dive right there. Goodness. Definitely on a smaller bike, you'd have to be on your toes a little more than I am. The nice thing about having a 170 fork, even though my head tube able isn't the slackest, and I'm on a Lyric, not a Zeb or a 38, but you can still just plow, you know. 170 mils of travel is 170 mils. There's a lot you can do with it. Probably looks like I'm going painfully slow on camera, but you know what? Thus is life. So I definitely expected more like jumps than tech on this trail when they said it was like a flow trail. But that being said, man, is it a blast, especially that upper section was straight up so fun. Woo! Came in a little hot. Oh, thank you. Have a good ride. Oh, what is that? Oh, that would have been fun. What a nice lady. Oh, yes. All right, Predator Trail, here we go. Once again, first time ever riding this. So we're gonna take it chill. So don't expect this to be like the sickest, fastest footage you've ever seen on this trail. You should always scout out trails before riding them top speed. And that's essentially what I'm doing, because I'll be back. Woo! This is a sick trail. Little triple drop, but all rollable. Not bad. Slightly less than rollable, but I rolled it anyway. And don't have enough speed, so that's okay. We're gonna pump those. Like I said, I'll be back. My bike is just garbage. Like, the cassette's great. It's not skipping at all. It's just derailleur just wants to go shift. Oh yeah, she's steep, boys. She is steep. And girls, you know, it's steep regardless of what gender you are. Woo! But everything, again, is pretty much rollable. Even this, there's a little side feature there. Some of it's, I guess, less than rollable, but if you lean back enough and have a big enough fork like that, you can kind of just make it happen. Woo! All right, I will be definitely doing this trail again while we're living in Seattle. This is sick. All right, dropping. That sounded healthy. If I just put my cassette in its hardest gear, then it doesn't try to go shift. So that is where we're at right now. Woo! Woo! Nice. Oh yeah. You got to be prepared for consecutive drops. Oh yeah, that's fun. Yes. Woo! Oh, the accuracy on that stop. Oh, if we could have seen that from third person. Oh, okay. Wasn't ready for the back-to-backs on that one. Almost caught me out. Oh yeah, bash the chainring. That was supposed to be a drop, y'all. But again, lean back, let the bike eat. You can get through a lot of stuff. Yeah. Whew. Goodness gracious. Have mercy. Woo! All right. A little more chill now. I just try to roll up to these slowly so I can see what's happening. But then you just gotta roll into it. But you gotta kind of know, woo, what route to take. Yes. Ooh, a lot of these land relatively flat. But that's okay. Oh my gosh. This, my friends, is mountain biking. This makes the trails in Idaho, at least where I was at, woo, look like greens. Like if you were doing this fast, oh boy, would it be fun but scary at the same time, you know? Woo! Woo! I've just made a critical discovery as to why my bike wasn't shifting well. I'm heading down this trail after Predator, and something is just rattling up a storm in the back of my bike. I'm like, man, did my preload on my coil come loose? And the, you know, spring isn't cinched down properly? Is there a loose pivot point rattling? Like, it was diabolical rattling. So I stop, I pull over, look. Now everything's tight, cassette's tight. Coils where it should be preload wise. No play in the pivots, suspension pivots. And then I look down and I notice my rear wheel, the axle has completely come loose, about ready to fall off. So I basically rode like half of Predator with a rear axle falling out. Not ideal, but that would explain why it wasn't shifting. If the wheel's rattling around inside the frame there, the derailleur is going to be all whacked up on locating the right gear. So makes total sense. Oh lordy. Oh, and we're back at the trailhead.